Hello, happy Friday, and welcome back to Talk Yarny to Me. I am once again Zuri. I am your host, and just gonna catch you guys up a little bit on what's been going on because I have been wanting to make a video all week, and it has just been a week. Disasters in parenting, disasters at work, and a 12-year-old birthday party in less than 24 hours. So, yeah. Every night has just been exhausting it's been something every night. So Monday, was it Monday or Tuesday? When was it? Monday or Tuesday? I go and pick so without telling too much of his story, our family, we are embarking recently within the last few months on the journey of having a child on the autism spectrum. So, and that's my biological son, who's our middle child. And it's something I've suspected for a while, but we're finally getting it diagnosed and working with specialists to see like exactly where his strengths and weaknesses are. And so while, school it can be a challenge. Learning is not a challenge, but the processes of like school and like following, like understanding instructions and understanding like expectations as far as assignments or tests or whatever, like that's a struggle. So very, very smart and, learns well, but when it's time to take a test or do an assignment or finish a project, he doesn't always connect the dots on what's expected. And so we've gotten a lot of improvements like this year. This is our first year of middle school, so lots of things are different, a lot more independent work, which is definitely like not his forte. He needs like a lot of structure and someone checking in on him. But we've gotten a lot better. And so this week though, there was just, I don't know, I wouldn't call it a setback, but just like an area that I thought we'd made a lot of improvement on. We kind of had a hiccup, and it was, I don't know, it was a big one. Not a big one, well, it was a big one. It was a big one to me. So I pick him up from school, and how do I say this gently? I lectured him passionately, like halfway home, about this mistake he made or this neglectful thing he did. And then when I couldn't lecture him no further, I called his dad to finish the job. And he took it all the rest of the way home. And we got everything back on track and it worked out. And we had a late night, but we got everything worked out and it's great. But yeah, that was Monday or Tuesday. So I mean, my voice was gone, if that says anything. And then just dealing with that and like, just the mom guilt of it all afterwards, after the fallout, and then just the like, why am I not better at this? Why? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like everyone has their doubts and their vulnerabilities, I guess, around their parenting. So like, I know I'm doing a great job. I have a great kid. I always say I won the baby lottery when I had him. And so, but in the heat of it, you're just like, other parents, he's very high functioning. So it's like, other parents like get their kids to thrive and like, why am I just like, why, and just, or is it my fault? Cause we didn't get it diagnosed earlier or this or that, just that. And then he just was like, once between me and his dad, like both laying into him, like he was feeling really bad about himself for a while, not a long time. Just like he bounced back that same night. He's like, one thing about him is he's super, super resilient. So he's gonna, but he had a moment where he like internalized all the wrong messages from our lecture. And so he just was saying some very terrible things about himself. And I'm just like, no, like it's not that, we don't, it's not even about your grades. I don't really, I'd like you to get good grades, but I don't care if you get good grades. I just care that you do your best. And so, he wasn't feeling great. But then, like, just within minutes, he bounced back. That's one thing. He's not going to stay down for long. And while, like, frustrations can really trigger him, like, even small wins can really bring him back to, like, feeling better about himself and, like, from the brink of a shutdown. So there was that. And then I made, we got through that. And then was it yesterday? Yesterday, I made the hugest mistake at work. I'll get to the yarn in a minute. Just explaining why it took me till Friday night to even get on here, I guess. Just like the hugest mistake I've ever made in my career, probably one of them. Like, we call it in tech. I don't know if they say it in other sectors, but like in technology, they call it a resume generating event, which means like, bad enough that you might have to brush off your resume. Like, I'm not in danger of that at all, but it's just oof. Like, I feel like I have if you guys have ever heard of imposter syndrome, like really bad. And it's something, I don't know, ever since I've been working. It never was a problem when I was in school. And without sounding vain, like, I knew I was the smartest person in the room. Most rooms that I was in, like all through school, through most of college. Like, even in college, like, I went to school with some very brilliant people who are still like some of the most brilliant people I've ever known, but I never felt like overshadowed by them, you know? But once I started working in tech, especially, like, once I started working in my current field, oh my goodness, like, I felt like a fraud almost immediately. And I don't know what it is. It's very, like, to the point where there's been times like I've just been like paralyzed by anxiety, just like speaking up. Or I know I used to do this. I feel like I don't do this as much anymore, but I definitely have, like, earlier on in my career, like, someone would ask a question like, what do we do for this? And I would say, I think we do this. Even if I knew for sure this is what you do, I'd say, I think you need to do this. Or I think we do this. Because I didn't ever want to just make a definitive statement and like risk being wrong and like looking stupid and being like exposed as the fraud that I was, like, And so, yeah, so then when I make a really big mistake, it's just like hard for me. Like, I know my boss loves me, my coworkers love me. Like, I know, and I'm not we've all, like, we're engineers. What I do is network engineering. So I am not the first one in my company to bring down the whole network. I didn't bring down the whole network. I brought down a chunk of it, a substantial chunk of it. But, I'm not the first one to do that. We've all done it, And so, but it's just like all those feelings come flooding back. I know I was like on this call, like, we're trying to troubleshoot. And one of my coworkers, like, kind of the guy that mentored me when I first came in, like, he slacked me on the side and he's like, breathe, it's okay. Like, I don't know, he must have heard it in my voice because it was on a call, but it wasn't a video call. Like, or at least I didn't have my video on, I don't think. But he must have heard it in my voice, and I was just like, I don't know, freaking out internally. He's just like, breathe, it's okay. And like, but it's just like, now I had to go back to work the next day. And I feel humiliated. Like, no one said anything. Everyone knows. I explain what happened, etc. It's fine. Like, I'm not, worried. But it's just like internally, you're like, that little voice of doubt in the back of your head. Like, they all know. And so, my one coworker that works with me in my office, because our company is actually like across the country from where we live in Atlanta, but he works with me in the office. He was there in the office with me when it happened. And at first we didn't realize like how big a thing it was, or we thought it was already resolved. And so he kind of like put in our team chat, he's like, Zuri did it, how dare you? And I was like, it was before I could even like take the blame for it, like before I had a chance to be like, oh, I made this mistake. So it was just like, it looks like I was like trying to hide out, and then it also looks like he was trying to throw me under the bus. I was joking that he was coming for my job because he's a contractor and I'm a permanent employee at my company. So I was like, you're just trying to get my spot. I was joking with him, and he was like, I didn't realize it was so big a deal. I look like such a jerk. And I'm like, that's all right. But then today he's like, what did you break today? And I'm like, Josh, leave me alone. I'm still embarrassed. And then I still had to go back and do the thing that I was trying to do when network went down. So I had to go back to like all those stakeholders and be like, hey, we got to try this again. When is a good time? I had to go back to my boss and be like, we're going to try it again, and just like, I don't know. But I'm fine now. I'm fine now, and I think I can do it pretty seamlessly when we go back to do it on Monday. Hopefully, we'll see. If not, we'll have this talk again. Anyway, okay, we're 10 minutes in, and I'm not into the yarn yet, which I don't even have a lot. Okay, so that's also the reason I explained all this is gonna be to go. This has been my week, and so I have not done a whole lot of crafting this week. Like, I've done a little bit every night, but not, between helping my son with his stuff and then just being drained from like his thing and my thing. Like every night I've just been like tired, but I've done a little bit. I do have two finished objects, and I did these early. Actually, I did these last weekend. I think I finished on Monday, and it's a hat and scarf set, and it's for the Bod Hatapalooza. So this time the pick was a hat and scarf set, and we only had to do the hat for the hashtag or whatever. But I was like, let's do both. We're practicing, we're learning. And so I started with the scarf, and it was the easiest thing. Like I got through a whole skein of yarn in the first evening, and then I did the second one the next day. So I did this. I started on Friday night, did the first skein of yarn, like from 8 to it took me a couple hours. So one half of the scarf. It's a long scarf, and then I did the second skein the next day. I was like, great. So then I cast on the hat on that Sunday, and for some reason, okay, I'll show you the scarf. Okay, this is a scarf, right? And I've used do I have this yarn here? I do. The bottom of this project bag, of course. I use this. So was it two? Yeah, 2 skeins of Red Heart Soft Essentials, which I don't know if they make this anymore, but this is in the color turquoise, I believe. Yeah, turquoise. It's a 5-weight, and the tutorial, which I guess I'll link below, has you use like a 9mm hook, so it's very loose. Though I feel like mine is way looser than hers. And she used, I feel like a thicker 5 like this. But either way, I think I'm a pretty loose gauge person. So yeah. So it's just like, which side is it? I'm so not really great yet at knowing the right side and wrong side of crochet. But okay, this is it. So it's double crochets and then cluster switch stitches. And then you just alternate that until you get the length you want. So this is like super long. Let me back up. Can you back up? So I can't even back up far enough for you to see, but it's like, there. So I'm 5'2". Your wingspan is about your height, right? I'm 5'3". So it goes like an extra, probably 6 inches on either side. So it's over 6 feet. It's a very long scarf, and then you can I'll stand up in a second so you can get the full effect. You can do this. It's long enough. You can get a nice little wrap in like that. So I like it. And then the trim, I trimmed it in, do I have the other one? The same yarn in the color minty, right? So very happy, very easy, nice, fast project. So it's the full, see, you can still, you cannot see how long this is. It's long, so this is it's down to my knees. So yeah, nice and fast. And then we get to the hat, y'all. Got to the hat. So cast on the hat. It casts on from the brim, so you chain 48, and it was the same issue I had last time where it took me several tries to get this thing to even join without a twist, no matter what. But it didn't take as many times as the last time. It took 2 or 3 tries maybe, right? And then I think I added this to the bottom. So then you start off, so I cast on here, and then you just go pretty much right into your cluster and your double crochet, cluster, double crochet. For some reason, after the first 2 or 3 of those rounds, no problem. Once I got past that, every single round, my stitch count was off. No matter what I did, every round I had to go back. It was ridiculous. I don't know why. It's super easy. Like, I don't know why. I think the only thing I can think of is that in the cluster row, you know, so you cluster, you do like, you pull up the loop, so you have 2 loops on the hook, and then you skip a stitch, you go in, you pull up a couple more loops, like yarning over in between, so you end up with 6 loops on the hook, and you skipped a loop to do it. I mean, you skipped a stitch to do it, right? And then you pull all the way through. So, and then you yarn over. So the only thing I can really think of is like skipping the wrong, like accidentally skipping 2 stitches or accidentally not skipping a stitch. But anyway, it took me like, I just kept frogging, redoing. It took me twice as long to make this little hat than it did to make this big scarf. And so, but I finally finished it. It's supposed to be a slouchy hat. And it came out good. Only thing is, it's like still a little bit tight on my head. Like, maybe I just had to admit that I got a big head. But, ooh, I thought I did my, I'll cut this. You know when you like do, you know when you just catch your ends like in your double crochets instead of like, so you don't have to weave them in too much later, you get them nice and secure. So I did that, and I think I just forgot to cut this one. But anyway, this is it. It came out good. A little bit still, just like a tad bit tight. Like, I could live with this probably, because once you get it over your ears, then it's not too bad. But I can feel it like right here kind of pulling on me. The trim also was not part of the pattern. I just did it. So this is a half double crochet trim. I think for this part, she did mention it, like that she was going to add the single. This is a single crochet, and I think this was part of the tutorial. But for this, I just felt like the edge looked sloppy. Like the sides looked really sloppy. And so I just did a half double crochet trim, and I tried to find a different color. And this is what I came up with. I also had a yellow one I could have used, but I was like, I couldn't decide. I don't really love the contrast. I like it more now. I didn't really love it when I was doing it. I was like, I'm not sure this matches. This looks good, but I think it's okay. And so I was working on it. I went to my friend's baby shower, the one that I made the star blanket for. So the baby was born like, what, a month ago or so? When was he born? Yeah, about a month. But, you know, he was like 6 weeks early, or 5 or 6 weeks early. So obviously she just got around. She just couldn't do her baby shower. So we went, and I was sitting there talking to her, and I pulled out my crochet while I was there. I was doing it, and she's like, oh, that's really beautiful. I was doing a scarf. I hadn't done the hat yet. And I was like, oh, I'm just doing it for practice. If you want it, you can have it. She's like, yeah, I'll take it. So I was like, if I finish it, the hat and scarf by tonight, that would be Saturday night. I thought since the scarf was so easy, the hat was going to be like bam, bam, that I'll be done. I was like, if I finish it tonight, I'll bring it to church tomorrow. But if not, I'll bring it next week. And then it ended up taking me forever to get this hat done. So I'll bring it to her on Sunday. I got to wash them too. But yeah, this was like, at least the scarf, I mean, it's an easy pattern. I was just doing something crazy. But that's all I really have as far as what I've done so far, or at least anything completed. Let me take this off. But I did work on, I worked on my two of my other blanket projects, the 2 big ones, which is the, my spiral blanket. I'm not even gonna stand up because it doesn't, it's gotten, not really much farther than when you saw it last week. I've added another corner to it. So what I showed you guys last week was I added, was it this one? It's so confusing, like once you're doing it. No, it has to be this one. So this corner, so it was a square, and now I added a corner to it. So now I got to do the other 3 corners. But yeah, it's pretty. I text my friend that I'm making it for, because I felt like I was at about the halfway point. So I texted her and I was like, your blanket's about half done. Do you want a sneak peek? And then she was like, how dare you? I'm like, no, I guess a temptation, I guess. I didn't know, because I didn't want to get it done all the way, and it didn't really fit her vision, and then she felt obligated to pay me for it. Like if it gets halfway through and it's not what she's looking for, I'll just be like, don't worry about it, and I'll just finish it for me, because I like it. I'll definitely rock that. But I just wanted to, give her the option. I don't know. Some people, when people make things for me, like, I want to be surprised, I'm just like, I trust your judgment. You're the expert. you know, basic like guidelines if they want to be like about color or like style or whatever, or you know, or like what my friend that makes my son's birthday cakes, I'm just like, you know, make me, you know, I think one year she did like a Sonic the Hedgehog cake, and that's like that's it. Sonic the Hedgehog theme, you can do whatever you want, you know. Or this year, she didn't do it this year, but I was like, all I did, I'll send her a text and was like, can you make a video game themed cake? She didn't have time to do it, which is sad, but um, yeah, I'll just be like, I trust your judgment, and then I want to be surprised. She did my wedding cake, and then same thing. I was like, you know, we just talked about flavors and colors, and she did all the rest, and I didn't put no other input. But yeah, so but other people, they want to be part of the process. So I didn't know which one. I know her enough like to figure that she probably wouldn't need to see it, but I gave her the option. But she was like, no, no. Well, she was like, this is so tempting. She actually called me like a, what did she call me? Like a devil or something for tempting her. And I was like, look, just give me the word and I'll never, no, I took a picture, but give me the word. I'll delete it. You won't see it. No matter how much you beg, I will not show you until it's done. And so she was like, well, I'll think about it. And she hasn't texted me back. So I'm guessing that she resists temptation and she is not asking to see it. So it'll get done when it gets done. I don't know. It'll, you know, I work on it a bit every day. Now that it's in like the bigger, the outer corners, like they're huge. And so it takes a while to get through them. A couple of days, especially, you know, if you have like now that I'm not working from home anymore, like I just, you know, I have longer days and I'm more tired. And so I'm not always able to just crochet for hours in the evening. So it is what it is. And then of course my other project, which is my granny square blanket, is also, I don't, it hasn't gotten too far. I think I was probably here, right? I showed you guys, I know I showed you guys this one. I don't think I had done this one yet when I taught you guys last. So we got this one, another row of white, and then this bright red. And it is all the way up here. So this is it. If I hold it, it's like, okay, let me see. I'm trying to get it so it's just like barely on the ground. So this is kind of just dragging, just barely on the ground. And you see it's over my head, just above my hair. So it's almost as long as I want it. I have two more skeins of Karen Simply Soft besides the two purple ones that I can add to it. And I think that will get me to, I mean, wherever it is at that point, it's just, that's what it's gonna be. So I have, you know, let me find the other two I got besides the purples. So I got these two left. So this is plum wine. And then this is like, what is this? Like a cornflower, berry blue, right? So I think I'm gonna go blue on top of this and then the plum wine. So that's the two red shades aren't right next to each other. And that'll be it. Whatever it is at that size, that's that big it'll be. Plus I'm gonna do, then like I got all the like scrap pieces that don't fit is what I'm gonna use to, I'm gonna border it like probably in single crochet all around until I run out of those. So as it stands now, I have used, I think this is the 13th ball. I'll count, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where did I get 13 from? No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh no, 12. Yeah, 12. This is a 12th ball, or a 12th skein of Karen Simply Soft that I've used. So 12 skeins of yarn out of my stash. I don't think I've used 12 skeins in a year for them, like unless I did something big in any given year. And I add way more than 12 skeins every year. So I haven't bought 12 skeins this year, except for what I bought for like this. Like I bought exactly 12 skeins for this, but this I don't count because it's for a project. Whatever I don't end up using, I'll add to stash and then I'll count them. But right now I'm like, I want to say I'm 7 skeins in on this, maybe 7-ish. I think I'm on 7. I used all of, I'm on the last of the blue. Yeah, we'll say 7 skeins. So, you know, it is, if I don't use it all, then I won't use it. I'll add those to stash and I'll count them in stash, but I don't count it because I bought it specifically for that. But, yeah, these have just been sitting in my stash for like 3 years, you know? So, most of them or more. So, yeah, it's nice to like get them out of it there. And then plus the, oh no, 13. Yeah, because of the white, I didn't count the white. So 13. And then I won't really count these whites up here because I bought them to finish it out. Actually, probably gonna have to buy one more. But yeah, still 13 balls, 13 skeins, 13 anything out of stash in a matter of what, a couple of months, 2 months. That's a win, right? You know, that's a win. So I'm gonna have to log that. I'm trying to keep track, like I'm keeping track of how many skeins I'm using. I'm just doing it by yarn. So I just, if I whatever yarn I use, like I said, Karen Simply Sauce, I'm at 13. Soft Essentials or whatever. So Super Saver, Ombre, I think I've used one. So yeah. So there's those two. And then my other two blankets I have not made any progress on. This is where it was last time. I might work on that tonight. Just because I have to. I gotta make myself work on this. I asked my friend's husband, because I bumped into him. When I bumped into him, I was greeting him at church the other day. I was like, well, how much longer do you guys have? And he was like, well, it's supposed to be May. They say May, but the doctor says she's not going to make it till May. So probably April. He actually said March originally. So I think, no, he might have said April. I don't know. They're not going to make it till May, though. But theoretically, it's May. Not going to happen. Like, I saw her. She was at church. She is big and she's ready. The baby's not ready, but I'm sure she is. But I am going to, have to really just, I make myself work on it. I thought that she was doing March, so I really thought I was behind. So I got a little more time than I thought I did, but I'm not going to try not to squander that. But my son's, my youngest blanket, I made an executive decision on that. So I haven't touched it. I think it's in the same place as Ben because, for one, I feel like I'm not super excited about this project at all. Or at least not about this pattern. Not the project. The project I'm excited about, but not about this pattern. And it's because, I don't know. I want something a little bit more mindless. So I made an executive decision. And instead of doing that mosaic, I'm going to do an illusion knit. If you guys ever seen it, if I find it, I might find a picture and pop it in. Because maybe people don't know what it is, especially if a lot of crocheters follow. But it kind of gives almost a little 3D effect. Some people make it look like blocks, like some people call it shadow knitting too. It just kind of makes it kind of pop out, almost like one of those. Remember, guys, in the 90s, those magic eye poster things that you like stare at and then it look like something else. It's almost like that. That kind of gets depth. Like if you stare at it long enough, there's like depth to it. And so with illusion knitting or shadow knitting, like from the angle that you look at it, it kind of gets a little bit of depth and it looks more 3D. So that's what I'm going to do, because all you really do is it's how you manipulate the knits and purls in a different section. So I'm going to make kind of a checkerboard pattern. I found a tutorial from Very Pink Knits, who is like one of my favorite tutorial people, just because she just makes things so simple and straightforward. So I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to rip this out. I'm like, 4 rows in, 6 rows in, not a big loss. And I'm going to do that. I think I'm gonna do it a little bit different because she made a baby blanket, so her little checkers are much smaller. They're only like 19 stitches across, which I feel like for the width of the blanket that I want to make is small. They'll be like little tiny boxes. I want to make them a little bit bigger, more substantial. But yeah, I'm gonna do that. We'll save the mosaic for something else, because I really do love mosaics. But I didn't find one that I loved, like a pattern that I really wanted to do for this, and so I just kind of settled for one, and I was not excited about it. So yeah, so we're gonna do that. I'll try to get that started this weekend. So my son's birthday party is tomorrow. He's gonna be 12, and I am blown away. Like, how have I been doing this for 12 years? It's crazy. It's like, all right, so our oldest is also 12. My husband's oldest, so my oldest stepson is also 12. But I've only ever known him as a preteen. Like, I didn't know him as a baby, as a young kid even. Whereas obviously mine, that's just my baby. And I'm like, why are you growing? He's had a facial hair, like, on his, what is it, his lip. Since he was like 9, you can see the little shadow coming in, and his voice is getting deep. He's not taller than me yet, but he's taller than his dad. And this is probably the last year that he will be shorter than me. Like, I can wear his shoes. It blows my mind that I have a kid this big. But his birthday party is tomorrow. And so it's going to be a long, tiring, busy day. We still got some more cleaning to do. I got to clean this room. We did the other rooms. I got to clean this room. I got to try to do some stuff. So, yeah. So I don't know how much, if I'm going to be able to start, like restart that project this weekend, but I'm going to try. And then I haven't started this yet, but I made I have another project that I will be doing this month. So one of my favorite YouTubers, yarn YouTubers, is Rosanna from Crochet with Nana Rosanna. She's a Canadian YouTuber. She doesn't do a whole lot. I know she does like a weekly like roundup thing on, that's Erin, but she does like a weekly catch up on Saturday, sort of like her whips and her finished objects and things like that. I don't know that she does a whole lot of other content besides that. But she also does what she did doing this year. She's doing what's called she's doing a book cover blanket crochet along thing. And so every month she picks another book cover that she does a blanket for. And I submitted my favorite book for that, and she picked it. So it's To Kill a Mockingbird. And so she picked it, and she picked it for this month, which I kind of had a feeling. I don't know why. I was like, I bet it's gonna be this month, and it sure is. So I don't have time to do really all the other. I don't have time to do it every month, you know. But I was like, if she picks my book, I'm gonna have to at least do this month. So I'm gonna do this month, and the good thing about it is that the book cover she chose, I already have two. When it was the one I was it's the most colorful version. Did I say the book is To Kill a Mockingbird? It's my favorite book. But there's like some more bland versions of the book cover. She picked the most colorful one, but it only has 4 colors. And I happen to have 2 of the colors, and I didn't ever know what exactly. I knew I was going to make a blanket with them, but I wasn't sure like what exactly I was going to do, and I'm still not. But I'll put the book cover here, maybe, hopefully. Probably. But it's like maroon and this greenish color, not greenish, it's like a green, like a leafy green, and then it's because there's a tree motif, and then there's black and white. And I have maroon already, and I have black. And I found these at Walmart a few months ago. Oh, that's cute too. Man, I could do this, right? This is almost exactly. I just have to replace that green with the I might do this. I might do this. I'm gonna have to just replace the gray. I have the gray too. It's funny because I found the gray and the black and the maroon at Walmart. And I'd never bought this before, but I was like, people always talk about it, and they had a bunch of it. I think I might have cleaned them out. I got like 4 of each, I think, or 3 of each, 2 or 3 of each. Yeah, man, I might. I didn't even see that. I don't know how I feel about making a bunch of squares and sewing them together though. But that's something like I could probably do one a night for a few weeks and then sew it together. But yeah, so then I just have to order the white and the green. And they have a green that matches it pretty spot on. Right? Man. And I feel like this is gonna be it's so thick. It's a 5, it's a very bulky 5. It's gonna be a quick quick crochet. So it's something I can get done in 3.5 weeks, you know, theoretically. I had a few ideas already. I thought maybe like that ripple chevron blanket or something would be cool too. But man, now I see that, I'm gonna look and see like what exactly that is. Maybe I'll do that. Sorry, this looks weird. I'm all scratching my back in the middle of the video. I'm sorry. So there's that. So I'm gonna start that next week sometime. My son's going back to his dad's house next week. Usually he goes Monday nights, but I gotta take him to a doctor's appointment on Tuesday, so I'm gonna keep him till Tuesday. But then I'm taking the day off to take him to that doctor's appointment. He's got to do some assessments, so I'll have nothing. I'll maybe take that because I'll have nothing to do. I'll be waiting around for him. So that's a day. That's a day to crochet in the doctor's office. So yeah, I'll try to start that this week. And then one more thing I really want to cast on, and I should have gone and I'm gonna leave out of here. When I leave out of here, I think I'm gonna go in the garage and dig through my boxes. Remember I said with the Scarfie, that I want to make a hexagon cardie. So I think I'm actually one of my knit and crochet group actually on Facebook, they are doing a hexagon cardigan crochet along for this month because it's what, National Crochet Month or something like that. And so yeah, I was like, oh, this is a perfect chance to jump in on that. And so I think I haven't really read the details of like what they're gonna do exactly. I just happened to see the post this morning. But I was like, okay, that's a sign. I gotta go ahead. And everyone's doing a hexagon cardigan. So I'm like, well, it's still the hotness. Let me go ahead and start that. And so I probably like I'm just want to look and see like what I have in my scarfy stash because I have a bunch of different colors. I know I bought that kind of jean one. I think I'm probably gonna use that one, that like jean denim looking one that I bought a few weeks ago that I showed you guys. But I just want to dig through and see what else I got because I know I've got that it's like it's like a umber and a charcoal, I think, one, which is like really pretty. That's like, there's that one. I have like this kind of ice blue and cream one. I know I've got like a pink and I don't remember, pink and white maybe. I got a few different colors and I got like multiple balls of each for most of them. So I got options. And so I just wanted to see, but I think I'm going to still stick with, at least for this first one, I'm going to stick with that, the denim one, because one, I bought like 5 balls of that, right? And so I don't have to worry about running out. So that's another thing. So those two I want to at least cast on this week and get started just to have it. And so it's a lot. It's going to be very crochet heavy, but I guess it's National Crochet Month. So it's fitting, right? I don't know when National Knitting Month is. I'll find out and then I'll knit a lot. But I think it's just, I don't know. It's the new thing, I guess, because it's just a new thing I'm doing. And so I want to try all the things. so yeah. But that's it. Yeah. All right. We're already at 36 minutes. I actually thought this was going to be like a really quick video because I, only had one thing to show you guys, but I'll be rambling. I know. And I'm going to stop doing that and go try to finish this, this round of red. And then I got to make goodie bags and clean the bathroom and a million other things before tomorrow morning. So I'm gonna get off of here, but I just wanted to share with you guys and just say hi, just because it's been a while and I've been wanting to do a video all week, and I will be back in a few days probably to show you what I got. I'm gonna try to finish. I want to finish this thing. I really want to finish. 1, because I just can't wait to use it. 2, because it'll be done. And so yeah, I'll be back hopefully in a few days to show you that, and it'll be done, and show you my new stuff that I'm casting on, and we're gonna have a good time. All right, anyway, enjoy your weekends, and there was something else I wanted to talk about and I don't remember. We'll talk about it later. Okay, enjoy your weekends. I'll see you soon. Bye.